Hello, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing? This is David Lisiaga here, and I know a lot of you are responding to a Facebook post. You guys want to know what it is that I'm tying my arms in with, how it is that I'm doing it, and you've expressed interest in learning more about the program and getting pre-positioned. And I want to make sure that I go ahead and be as clear and as thorough as possible with this video, but also not be eternal. So I'm going to start off by saying I am master distributor of a program that is getting ready to launch. It is based off of a token, FEG, Feed Every Gorilla, that I am incredibly bullish on. If you need to become familiar with FEG, you could just go to fegtoken.com. But, I'm going to pull up FEG quickly on PooCoin just so you could understand why it is that I am so bullish on it. Let's change this down to daily. Okay, to really begin to understand why it is that we're so bullish on FEG, understand that in the last company that I taught for, we were in actually almost a year ago. Okay, so we were in late April before all of this happened, before it came from all these zeros down here to all the way up here. And so much money was made with this large enough market cap. We're talking about a $95 million market cap. There's room for it, but also we love the fact that this is a hyper deflationary system. Okay, so every single time that a transaction occurs, whether that's a buy or whether that's a sell, literally 1% of that transaction gets redistributed to holders of FEG. Okay, and so when we started thinking about how a program could be put together that actually benefits the masses, we started with the premise of we need to find a token to build it around that, number one, we believe in. Number two, the timing is early enough, and we're talking about just a year, and you see it's tapered off, still significantly, still room for significant growth, okay? But we also need to make sure that it makes sense to the masses. So I want to talk to you about what it is that has been put together, how it is that you could benefit, what it means for you in terms of entry costs, in terms of potential income. And before I go on, understand that none of these are guarantees. It only works if you put in the work. But timing and positioning, if you know anything about me, you know that if you have the right timing and the right positioning, that the likelihood of you making large amounts of money is very high. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this out, and let's go right into all the specifics of King Kong Matrix. So understand that what has been done, or what is getting ready to complete right around the beginning of June, has never been done in the MLM space before. And I want to be very clear about that. I want you to understand how visionary, how ridiculous this compensation plan is, why it is that, these things should matter to you, why the product makes sense, and why, beyond a shadow of a doubt, this will be the most rewarding program, dollar for dollar, that you have ever been involved in. And I know that that's a very big claim, but I'm going to start with the product so you begin to understand. Now, there are different matrices: Galatas, Langers, macaws, baboons, mandrills. These are all named after the very large monkeys of our world. Okay, so all you're getting are crypto alerts, and I want you guys to understand that. All you are getting are crypto alerts. If you get into the Galata matrix, it's only 1 alert per month. A Langer gets a total of 2, so the 1 from Galata plus the 1 from Langer makes 2. Macaws get 3, baboons get 4, mandrills get 5, but they also get whitelist opportunities. And so if you know anything about me and what it is that I've done in crypto, understand that the returns that we've seen are absolutely ridiculous. To really go ahead and put this in perspective, You know, if you don't know about me, you could go to davidlisiaga.com, click on the crypto growth formula, okay? And you could see all the coins that we called in 2021 and what it would have been if you only put, let's say, $1 per coin. That dollar per coin based on the timing of what we were in on certain things like FEG, but also Safe Moon and also Hoj. Literally, that dollar would have turned into over 32 grand over the course of a year because of how it is that we were able to maneuver the market. So understand that these crypto alerts are not to be discounted. But what has happened in 2022 thus far is that the crypto market has changed. Okay, so we started off in 2021 very bullish on farming. By the end of 2021, we were talking about DAOs. Now it's 2022, and there are all these hybrid node projects that we've been a part of. And some of these, we have members of our crypto community earning $1,000, $2,000, even $10,000 a day passively for being in at the right time. And a lot of times, that's a white list opportunities. This is also important. You get early access. I've been working with some of the best marketers for coins, okay? And literally every single time that they're getting ready to start a heavy marketing campaign, and by heavy marketing campaign, I mean 150 grand plus worth of marketing, I get a call. And these are the calls that are going to go in over here to make sure that we are positioned before the pump, so we also get our profits while the coin is pumping. And just so you understand, this team is responsible for several coins going to a 9-figure market cap. That's $100 million plus market cap, and that's exactly where we want to be. Understand that this right here, this King Kong matrix, is going to be one of the ways that we are able to pump future coins, but also the way that we are going to be able to pump FEG past the 100 million. I believe that we could go up to $250 million, even $500 million market cap, simply by the amount of traffic that we're going to put in. So let's get into the matrices. Let's talk about the comp plan. Let's talk about what's a little bit unique about what it is that happens. So first, let's talk about the Galata matrix. It's a million FEG buy-in. Now, before anyone starts getting nervous, let me show you exactly what a million is, okay? Guys, it is less than a penny, okay? It is less than a penny. It is a fifth of a penny. So this is the first time, and this is why I'm so excited about this. This is the first time in history of MLM that the product, that we are not going to force feed a price point on people that is unaffordable in emerging markets. When you take a look at certain countries that are notorious for doing well in MLMs, you start thinking Philippines and Nigeria and Kenya. You start thinking, Thailand. You start thinking, and I'm talking specifically poorer countries. A lot of the times, our product or the product that we market to them is so expensive for their daily earning potential that they cannot get involved. But if we're talking about less than 1 cent to get involved, okay, I think that the majority of the world could get involved in that. Okay, so now what happens? This is a force matrix. There are two sides to the compensation plan. One are the force matrices, the other is the unilevel. But when you put them both together, you have something very, very powerful. Okay, it's a force matrix. People could get as many positions in the matrix as they want. And we have had something very unique coded to the matrix. So if you get multiple positions, instead of you always following your sponsor, your subsequent positions will always follow your original position. This is to make sure that every single time that you spend money, that it is affecting your income more than it's affecting someone else's. And what happens is literally, this is $10,000 Not $10,000, 10,000 FEG per person in the matrix. When the matrix gets filled, and yes, there are a lot of positions, and I'm not saying people, I'm saying positions. Please understand that, because if someone comes in and wants to buy 1,000 positions, they can. And now it's taken 1,000 off from one individual. So there's 61 million positions in here, but this is actually doable, and we're going to show you the plan for this. But when you do this, let me go ahead and let me copy this number right here so you understand what 1 cent could turn into in FEG. Okay, let me take out these commas. So if you put in the blood, sweat, and tears, guys, you could turn 1 cent, less than 1 cent, into $2,850. Just for filling out the matrix. That's not included the unilevel. That's only from the matrix. Now, I want you to stop and think how many people you know in emerging markets that don't have a lot of money but have a lot of time and have a lot of influence and would more than gladly, for one crypto alert per month, push this for the hopes of making $2,800. And the answer to that is a lot of people. And how do I know that? I know that because I have been approached by people in these emerging markets, and they have literally hit me up and said, David, what is your next coin call? Can I get it so I could resell it to my community and sell it at $1 a call? So the idea of making $2,800 on less than a cent absolutely resonates, okay? So this is matrix number 1. It's 20,000 FEG per position, 1.3 trillion. Now, what happens if someone only buys matrix number 1? You introduce someone and they don't activate in matrix number 2, which is a Langer matrix. Well, the software automatically withholds their commissions to activate them in matrix number 2 so that they are able to participate in all of the income generation that King Kong Matrix is going to do. So let's talk about the Langer matrix, okay? It's a 5 million FEG buy-in. It pays out 100,000 FEG per person in the matrix, or per position in the matrix. The total payout is 6.7 trillion FEG. Let's talk about what 5 million FEG is, guys, so you understand. 5 million FEG is just about 1 cent. I'm hammering this home so you guys understand how powerful this is, okay? And the total payout when the matrix is filled is 6.7 trillion. Let's get what that total payout is right now by deleting all these commas so you understand how powerful this program is going to be. Okay, so now you have less than a cent turning into $2,800. You have 1 cent turning into $14,000. I want that to rest with you, to resonate with you, to understand why this is so important, why the emerging markets, why the third world needs this. $14,000, okay? $14,000 is higher than the median income of a lot of countries. And I'm being real transparent about this. This is why I'm so excited about what it is that King Kong Matrix is going to do. Okay, let's talk about matrix number 3, the Macau matrix. 10 million FEG buy-in, that's about 2 cents, 200,000 FEG per person in the matrix. 301 trillion FEG is the payout when the matrix is full. So first off, that's how much it costs, 2.1 cents, okay? 2.1 cents in order to get into this matrix. What is the payout? Let's take away these commas so you begin to understand the power of it. $641,000. I want to ask you, and I know it's what do they call that? It's a hypothetical question. It's one that doesn't require an answer. It's one that you just need to go back and think about. The actual word is escaping my mind, and it is frustrating the heck out of me. But understand this. 2 cents to 641,000. That is better than any lottery ticket you could buy. Let's go on. Let's go on so you guys begin to understand how powerful this is. Matrix number 3, 25 million FEG buy-in. It's 500,000 FEG per position. 25 million FEG buy-in. Let's go ahead and show you what that is. 5 cents, 5.3 cents. What's the payout when the matrix is full? Okay? When the matrix is full, ladies and gentlemen, it is $1.6 million. $1.6 million. And at this point, you should begin to understand how powerful what is being put in front of you really is. 1.6 million. Let's talk about matrix. That's a baboon matrix. Let's talk about the mandrill matrix. It's a 50 million FEG buy-in. Okay, let's copy this number. This way you guys begin to understand 50 million FEG, the total amount that is 50, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That is 10 cents, ladies and gentlemen. And using the King Kong matrix, what that means for you is that when the matrix is full, let me take away that. That's $3.2 million when the matrix is full. Now, if you know anything about how launches happen, and I want to hammer this home for those of you that are watching this video for the first time, you don't know who I am, you don't know my history. In our last company, Epic Trading, when we launched that company, my team and myself, we put 50,000 people in the first 30 days at $20. Now, the total buy-in here at King Kong Matrix, if you wanted to get into all the matrices simultaneously, is only 91 million FEG, which is less than a quarter. I want you to ask yourself this. If we could do 50,000 people at $20 at a pre-launch price, how many people do you think we are going to do at 25 cents? That number is going to be astronomical. I'm letting you know that right now, and you have the ability to get positioned in the matrix. So let's talk about what's happening in this matrix from a company level, okay? I'm master distributor. Right underneath the company only has one tree. Underneath me, levels 1 of the matrix, 2 of the matrix, 3, 4, 5, 6 is already filled with people who saw the vision, who trusted that, I was going to steer this company in the right direction and help them achieve financial freedom. They already put money up to get these top positions in the matrix, but these people are also top networkers with large organizations, especially international ones, and they are top crypto enthusiasts that have the ability to reach out and DM to millions of people every single day. And so your timing and your positioning, if you choose to get positioned early, will be at level 7. And the reason that it will be at level 7 is because obviously levels 1 through 6 are already filled. Ask yourself this though, because it is a forced matrix, do you think these people at the top are going to want to fill in their matrix? Absolutely. Do you think they're going to want to leave $3 million on the table? Absolutely not. So by you being positioned at level 7, you have the ability to reap the benefit of level 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, plus myself, who has over a 130,000 person email list specifically of people that have come through my teams. When I started keeping track, right, it was 130,000. If I had started earlier, it would have been over 500,000 people. So understand timing and positioning is important. In that last company that I mentioned, Epic, the people who partnered with me on day one, who were at the top of my tree, levels 1 and level 2, there were only 2 people out of all those trees. That was a total of 1, 2, 3, and 12 minus 2, 10, 13 people. 13 people all went to 10 grand a month or more in their first month because they took action when I told them to. Okay, let that one set in. And I'm letting you know right now that the people who take action and follow the plan are literally going, that 7 figures has never been closer to them than it is going to be when King Kong Matrix launches, okay? So let's talk about the unilevel. Just so we talk real numbers of the unilevel, the way the comp plan works is 47.5% goes into the matrix or the matrices when someone buys in, 47.5% goes into the unilevel, and 5% goes to the company and fees just to make sure that the company could maintain. But of that 100% for every person that you introduce, okay, you're going to get 50% of that unilevel spot. So on matrix number 1, okay, that's 225,000 FEG. On matrix number 2, that's 1.125 million. On matrix 3, that's 2.25 million. On matrix 4, that's 5.625 million. Okay, keep on doing the math. But understand this, when you refer someone to King Kong Matrix, they are tied to you for life. So if they decide to buy 100 positions in matrix number 5, you're going to get this 11 million FEG times 100, which is 1.1 billion just because you sponsored them and they are continuing to buy. So every single time they buy, unilevel 2, these would be grandchildren. You're going to see 25% of the unilevel payout. Levels 3 and 4 is 10%, and level 5 is 5%. Okay, so let's talk about how it is that you qualify for payment, because a lot of times these are the ahas, the gotchas inside of MLM. People hate these, okay? And so we want to be very clear. In order to qualify for payout, you must refer one person. Why are we doing this? It's very simple. If I have 130,000 people that, you know, are on my email list and I tell them they can get involved in a program that has the ability to pay out millions of dollars for less than a quarter, I am pretty sure that about 90% of the people that read that email are going to take action. Let's say 100,000. Now, in order for those 100,000 to sit there and then make money, they need to refer at least one person each. So what does that do? That takes the 100,000 and it doubles it. So now you have 200,000 people. And if you've ever sold a product, if you've ever sold a service, if you ever sold anything in MLM, I'm sure it costs more than a quarter. So this is a program where people said, I'm not good at recruiting. This is a program where all that goes away. Because you can take 25 cents in a ridiculous amount of money. Okay? What happens after you refer one person? Listen, if you come into matrix number 1, all right, 5 million FEG, and you don't activate matrix number 2, okay, 5 million FEG is going to be reserved from your commissions to make sure that you can go active in matrix number 2. Likewise, in matrix number 3, in matrix number 2, 10 million FEG is reserved if you're not active in matrix number 3. Now, if you're active in matrix number 3, all right, ladies and gentlemen, nothing is withheld for that. So if you are active in all the matrices, none of this withholding matters to you. The withholding is only done to make sure that people do not disqualify themselves from higher income in the higher matrices if they are from a developing world that could really use the extra income. Okay, withdrawal fee. Let's talk about this. No confusion. 0.01 BNB in order to cover gas and an admin fee. Right now, that price of BNB is about $4. But obviously, if you're at the point that you are talking about making $1 million, $3 million, even $2,800 for matrix number 1, then paying $4 in order to get the 28 makes sense. Any person in the entire company can have multiple entries into any matrix, and wallets are tied to the referral that introduced them first into the system for all levels. So if you introduce, hypothetically, let's say you only get active in matrix number 1, and you introduce 100 people that go active in all the matrices. Well, guess what? You will receive 100 times these payouts for all the matrices, because the unilevel is not tied to you being active in all the matrices. So people can start for a fraction of a penny, refer a whole bunch of people, and make a ton of money. Okay? Now, here's the part that's most exciting to me. Okay? I am going to lay out the plan for you to hit 7 figures in your first 8 days with KingCom Matrix when we launch. 7 figures in 8 days, and in order to do this, I think I need to pull up a calculator, okay? Let me go to Google and pull up a calculator, google.com, and then let's go right to calculator so that it comes up, okay? We'll come back to this in 1 second. So how do you do that? The Kong protocol. Ooh, we need to fix this. We need to fix this just a little bit. There we go. The Kong protocol is for every member to tell 10 people per day. Now remember, we are talking literally 25 cents per person to get into all of the matrices. So I am pretty sure that 100% of the people that are watching this video have the ability to go ahead and tell 10 people. So what happens? Day number 1, you tell 10. Day number 2, they tell their 10, which is 100. Day number 3, they tell their 10. Day number 4, they tell their 10. Day number 5, they tell their 10. That's 100,000. Day number 6, they tell their 10. That's 1 million. Day number 7, they tell their 10. That's 10 million people. Day number 8, those 10 million tell 10. That is 100 million positions. Now, the reason why I'm hammering this home is understand, all right? At the end of 8 days, if everyone does this, if just the admin did this, if only I did this, okay, that would mean that 111,111,110 positions would be in the matrix just from the work that me and my immediate sponsors did. Your cumulative commissions would be this much FEG. And we broke it down for you, what you would see from Galata, from Langer, from Macau, from Baboon, from Mandrill, and the unilevel. And ladies and gentlemen, this is only assuming one position. Remember, you could have multiple positions and multiply your income even more. So for those of you in the first world that are like, you know what, David, I love what I'm seeing. I'm going to come in with $25 versus 25 cents. Understand that you have the ability to then multiply what you are doing by 100 because you have 100 positions earning you commission. That should get you excited. So what happens if you do this in 8 days? Let's go right to the calculator so we talk about the total amount of FEG and what this would be. Okay, guys, currently, so this needs to be updated. This number will always change. Currently, that's nearly $5.5 million in 8 days. Now, if you know anything about force matrices, if you know anything about MLM, then you know that timing and positioning is paramount. And so right now, all the people, I'm going to be completely forthcoming. The people at the top of the matrix spent $12,500 to get their position. People at level 2 spent $10,000. People at level 3 spent $5,000. People at level 4 spent $3,000. People at level 5 spent $12,500, $10,500, $3,000. It was $2,000, and then it was $1,500. All right, ladies and gentlemen. They also got access to a sister program called Crypto Kingdom, where I give a lot more than 5 alerts per month. Okay, you're not getting that because they spend significantly more, and we wanted to make sure that we gave them enough value. But to get the timing and the positioning for matrix level number 7, it's only $500, and you will be the first people into the system before we open the floodgates. Now, I want to be very clear with you and be as transparent as possible. One of the marketing things that we are going to do, because we actually want to impact the developing world, is we have already committed to paying, to running a contest in month number 1 for people that just don't have it at all, and paying 20,000 people's way in through a contest. So even when you get in here, understand that worst case scenario, we're talking about filling up 20,000 positions as a company to make sure that we get the momentum. And that's not the only marketing that we're doing. Cannot let everything out the bag that I know is down the pike. But if you are interested, if you like what you see, understand that timing and positioning, all these people here, levels 1 through 6, very few of them asked any questions. They just got the vision. This is the last chance, and I do mean this with all sincerity, the last chance that anyone has the ability to get plugged in to what it is that King Kong Matrix is going to do with a guaranteed position by paying more. The other thing that is unannounced is that all the first top 7 levels of the Matrix, so basically everyone and anyone that has spent $500 or more, is going to be put into a company rotator. So anytime someone randomly comes to the company page and signs up, they will randomly be rotated between the top 7 levels of people who saw the vision of King Kong Matrix early, and they will be given away as direct referrals to those people. So this is the only time that you're going to get that benefit. No one else in the company past level 7 will get that benefit. I believe that that is a massive benefit, but obviously it's up to you. Here's why I need you to understand. 7-figure and 8-day blueprint right here. Okay? But if you're on level 7, it means you have 6 levels above you that are all doing this with you, which also means that you have the ability to drastically increase the effectiveness of the marketing. And June could be one, if not one of, definitely, if not the biggest, then one of the biggest months that you ever have in this MLM space. I know this video has gone on a lot longer than I expected it to. We're over 30 minutes and I don't want to bore you. The link I will have inside the message that I sent to you. So if you're interested, go ahead and purchase, and we will get you pre-positioned before we launch, which is looking like the beginning of June 2022. I say looking like because the software needs to be fully tested, and we need to make sure that we are off to the races on day number 1, but your position will be locked and loaded prior to us opening up to the public. That being said, if you choose to tie arms with us now, or you choose to tie arms with King Kong Matrix later, thank you so much for your attention. I applaud your decision to watch this entire video, and if you decide to take action, I look forward to helping you make the most money you've ever made in your life. Thank you so much for your attention, and you have a great night or great day or great afternoon, depending on what time you're watching on this on purpose. All right, guys, see you in the next one.